What's up everyone, it's Iceman Oz, aka Jay, and in today's video, I've got for you guys my first impressions of the newest DLC released for Battlefield 4, Naval Strike. So Naval Strike as a DLC has been set back further and further upon the release, and it's just been released for PC recently, so I wanted to give some of my thoughts on the DLC so far. I've put about 10 hours into the DLC, so I do think I am somewhat qualified to give some of my opinions on it. The gameplay you're going to be watching right here is on Lost Islands. I'm using the AWS LMG, one of my favorite weapons out of the DLC. I would say it's my favorite. Just before the DLC was released, DICE actually nerfed it a little bit, so they increased the recoil of the weapon. I did a weapon review before that, and I said it was really good and stuff, and it still is. It's still probably my favorite LMG in the game, along with the MG4 and the M249. Out of the whole DLC, I would say it's probably the best weapon. A lot of people also like the AR-160, but in my opinion, the AWS is the go-to gun, for me at least. And as you'll see in this gameplay, I'm picking people off, and as you'll see here, I'm having no difficulty at all finding players. Like, they're just showing up left and right. I think the map flow on Lost Islands is really good. By the way, this is the new game mode for the DLC called Carrier Assault. It's pretty much Titan mode. The way it works is essentially you have to destroy each other's ships. Whoever destroys each other's ship first wins. It's pretty much a mix between Conquest and Rush. A very nice mode, and I think this is the best map that it plays on, in my personal opinion. And by the way, look at the water on this map. It's almost like this emerald color. It's like a mix of green and blue. It looked so awesome, and there was just so many times where I just turn around and stare at the water for 20 seconds, just because I thought it looked that nice. So that's a thing. However, it isn't all good. The map flow on Wavebreaker is not great for Carrier Assault. I feel like if there's one map you're going to play Carrier Assault on, it's going to be Lost Islands, in my opinion. I feel like a lot of the other maps in the DLC didn't do it that well. Operation Mortar, however, is probably the best bet. I feel like that's the map that plays well on almost every game mode. There's a lot of elevation changes, and the map itself looks like something you'd see in real life. And just on the maps, I feel like a lot of these maps look very similar, but I think that's intentional, and the reason I do think that is because I feel like DICE is trying to make it look like these maps are really intertwined with each other and they're really in close proximity in between each other, and I think that's kind of the thinking there. But I know for a fact that a lot of people are going to be frustrated with that. They want to see, you know, more dynamics, different stuff, and you're going to have a hard time distinguishing different maps from each other. I know I definitely have. I've put 10 hours into the DLC, and I sometimes struggle to find out which map is what. Operation Mortar is the map with the cannon, so that's kind of how I know what Operation Mortar is, and I know the one with the green ocean is Lost Islands. So even though I think that a lot of people will be frustrated, I personally get it, and I still enjoy the maps. I think the maps overall, in terms of the way they play out, they're very open. Normally within the normal maps, you'll see a lot of head glitch spots, urban type environments. That's not the way it is in this DLC. The best way to think about it is kind of like Paracel Storm. A lot of these maps take that formula of being island type maps and you're swimming across and having the boats intertwined in between the maps and that kind of flow. It's a lot like that, so if you're into that type of combat, if you do like Paracel Storm, you will love this DLC, because essentially it's just 4 Paracel Storms modified. And I don't mean that in a bad way either. I really like Paracel Storm Conquest, and this is kind of my perfect DLC in that sense, because you're not going to be seeing people head glitching and camping and all that crap. You're going to be able to take them out because you're going to be able to see them, and a lot of open areas, and you'll be able to spot snipers and stuff. They don't really have many hiding spots, and I think that's what's really cool about this DLC, that it encourages rushing, it encourages, having a go into the objectives. And when people are playing the objective in this DLC, it is so much fun, and that is something I definitely enjoy. So now we'll move into the infantry-based gameplay, and I know some people aren't into infantry-based combat, but it was shown in Battlefield 3 that Team Deathmatch was the most popular game mode back in Battlefield 3. Going into Battlefield 4, it's still among the most popular, along with Domination. So as you'll see on screen, we are playing Operation Mortar Domination, and it was a lot of fun. The elevation changes on the map really made it play out very well. There's kind of 3 lanes on the map, and it's a very simple sort of layout, it's not complicated. Again, I keep going back to head glitch spots, but I get so frustrated when I'm playing on maps like Siege of Shanghai to be killed by someone head glitching or, you know, camping on a rooftop or something. That doesn't happen on these maps, and I'm so glad that that doesn't happen and that I'm able to just play the game and to be in fair firefights. You know, I'm not getting bullshitted. I'm able to have fair firefights, and that's what I enjoy about it. And by the way, the cool thing about these maps is there's not exactly a day-night cycle, but the maps kind of go to dusk, and that looks really awesome to me. It adds a new dynamic to the game in terms of like being able to see people and stuff like that. But the way it plays out on Domination and TDM from my experience is absolutely great. So what I'll do right now is I'll change the gameplay on screen to Team Deathmatch, and you'll see on this map we're playing in a ship. And the first thing I thought when I was playing on this is it's almost like a Call of Duty map. This is a very close quarters type thing, almost something like you'd see in the Close Quarters DLC, and this is probably my favorite map on TDM. So in terms of infantry combat, this DLC gets a big thumbs up. And in terms of the whole map design, this will probably be my favorite part of the DLC. Although the map flow is sometimes stagnant on carrier assault and sometimes on rush, but for the most part I feel like it plays out very well, especially like I said on the infantry based game modes. But there it is guys, hopefully you enjoyed this review of the new DLC Naval Strike. I'm going to go back and play some more right now. Tell me what you think about this DLC in the comments section below, by the way, because I'm really interested in hearing what you guys think about it. I know there are some people who hate it, I know there's some people who like it, and there's some people who are going to say, fix the freaking netcode, you stupid dice, fuck you. But in any case, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like, subscribe, and peace.